You know, I like the lighting with this, and like it looks good, but it's definitely very like casting couchy. So what qualifies you for this position, Devin?
I really like blow pops.
All right, barring that odd intro, this is the actual intro. Today we're filming a video that, we had something else in mind, but a piece of equipment that we actually really love is giving us some problems right now.
Yep, so time to make up a different video.
So we thought of it as we're kind of like at a good point to do this like round up everything that's going on in the shop kind of video, and we're gonna introduce, well, we've talked about it in the past, but now it's real because we're actually buying things for it. It's the Death Cart, and it's like a 1970 something Beetle that we're buying a chromoly. It's like a full tubular chassis for it, and we got all these crazy plans. And because that is going into motion quickly, we got to finish everything else up. So we decided to make a video that talks about all the projects where they are and how quickly we plan to get them done.
Yeah, kind of just like a short little update video. But without further ado,
Probably not short at all because there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, we'll join you guys back on the casting couch for the outro.
So the car is currently stuck on the lift at this height, which isn't a terrible height, but it's high enough that we can't get it off at all.
And we also can't really get the engine out, which we need to do to finish up some fabrication, so that's not great.
Yeah, it's stuck here, and we've done pretty much all we can with the car this height. You can't really like open the doors enough to do anything on the inside when it's on the lift. So yeah, we've taken what we can apart, but we're not lift spurts, so we really don't know what's going on with this thing. There was some capacitors on the side. That's really the only serviceable part on the pump. We're just gonna put it back together, flip the breaker, and see if it works. James was saying that's the lift equivalent of like a router for a computer.
Yeah, just unplug it, plug it back in, see if it works.
Flip that shit.
Click the button.
This isn't gonna electrocute me, is it?
Hopefully.
Nah,
Shit.
our car's stuck.
So we've ordered the capacitors. One is like a start-stop capacitor, so that might make sense. They're only $9. So we'll replace the capacitors, and if that doesn't work, we'll call somebody to come fix our lift. But for the potential of maybe fixing it for $18 as opposed to having a specialist come, yeah, we're gonna try to replace the capacitors ourselves. But car stuck on lift. That's the first channel update. Yeah, so let's start the project update segment now with what's going on with this. The floor in the back has been built. The fuel cell is in place. We just got to build straps for it. So the idea is going to be, you'll notice there's also a Kirky in here. We're going to go with Kirkys. But the idea is to strip this completely down and work our way back to front. Final assembly mode. We have everything we need now. And we've started with the S13 subframe. Okay, so this is what we've been working on since, I want to say July. The S13 subframe and the R200 diff with the locker is all assembled. We painted this thing like, I don't know, what would you call that, black raspberry?
Yeah, black raspberry. Midnight purple, if you like GTRs, I guess.
Yep, so this is all bolted in here really well. We got the disc brakes on. Nothing fancy, not slotted or anything, but the back end is pretty much done. Apart from plumbing the fuel lines and the brake lines, that's good to go. You could really see how much wider it is. Without wheels, these are almost level to the body, and if you go up to the front, we're like inset here, like a whole 6 inches, and that actually sounds about right because the back is now a foot wider than it used to be. Moving on though to the front, we were just talking about, we didn't leave you guys hanging with the front. This has adjustable, the Techno toy kit, right?
Yeah, so the fancy pants one that's all tubular.
Yep, so we got adjustability in the front, and we're gonna add camber plates at the top to hopefully push this out a little bit and fix our track width. That's the short story. We're gonna make our own camber plates, but that'll be for another day. And then the engine is stuck where it is right now because we can't take it out because our car is stuck. That's not bad because Sam's fabbing up our headers, which are over, you know, turbo manifold, whatever. They're taped together. We're waiting for more pipe. But yeah, that's that, and that's pretty much where the Datsun sits. We'll be fully assembling it probably. We have a pretty aggressive timeline, which we'll explain in a minute. But let's move on to the only other project. No, there's two.
There's 2 other projects.
There's 2 other
We got
projects.
2 things working in here.
Let's talk about, we'll just go our way down the garage here.
All right, so this has been looking like it has for a long time because making molds and making these fenders is actually extremely difficult, but we're so far into it now and we've spent so much money on it that we're gonna follow through. And at this point, both fronts are ready to be made into molds. One of them actually is, and we're still working on sanding the rears, but we should have an update with that soon. That's pretty much it for this car. And this whole time, James has been chipping away
Slowly but surely.
at the rotary beetle. And you've done like collectively more than anybody else has on any other project.
I'm just gonna let James have mouth diarrhea because I really don't know what he's done. He knows what he's
Oh
done.
man, I've done so much things. So many. Okay, engine's obviously out.
Let's start with why.
The engine needed to come out so I could finish this nonsense. Got a huge chunk of the firewall missing because instead of having that little tiny intercooler that was chilling right about here, we've got a much larger water-to-air heat exchanger that sits way recessed back into here. Changed out the throttle cable to a push-pull style, like Morse cable. Made this really ugly water manifold to get water into the intercooler that's gonna sit right here. I've got a hydraulic clutch, which I had to do that for other reasons, but it's sitting right down in here. You can see the pull slave. It's a Willwood pull slave hooked up to a nice little bulkhead fitting right there running into the car. I've redone my fuel lines that are now hard mounted to the body and are hard lines all the way up to the rear. I kind of jerry-rigged up some soft lines before, which was probably a terrible idea and would have burned the car to the ground. This should actually not. That's about it at the back. More or less everything else that it had in it before is going to be the same. I changed out the intake manifold on the engine, but I'll go over that later. And yeah, not much else to show off back here.
These sick taillights.
Oh yeah, I got some sick JDM taillights now, bro. Yeah, these are some random like trailer lights I found on Amazon.
I think they match the wheels though, so it's...
They work all right. They're better than the weird big disc lights that were on there before, so it's fine with me. Goes down really fucking slow.
like all lips.
It's gonna take a while.
I'm just gonna B-roll this section.
So in the interior, some upgrades haven't gone in yet, but what we've got so far is I had to add a center console so I could have a place for my brake bias adjuster, and it's a perfect tuning multi-gauge that's CAN bus that interfaces with the MS3 Pro, so I can look at anything that the ECU sees. I also had to add that external master cylinder reservoir because I now have floor mount pedals, thus necessitating the hydraulic clutch because I can't run the stock Beetle's cable clutch anymore. But cool thing is I'll be able to adjust my brake bias.
We're gonna talk about the engine. Just for nobody who's actually seen this project, just complete overview.
All right, so it's a bone stock internally, more or less, Turbo 2 Series 5 engine. It's got studs, like the Elite Rotary Shop studs. I've also got Elite Rotary Shop fuel rails. This is I believe it's drift motion, remote idle air control valve. Not a lot of internal modifications. I'm figuring stock ports will give me a little bit more torque. I'm running a small turbo, so I'm not gonna need too much porting for that. I'm expecting about 350 horsepower or so.
I was gonna ask what your power goals were. 300, 350 horsepower?
Running 1,000, like ID 1000 secondaries and Siemens Deca 60 pound injectors for the primaries, which is about a 630, 640 cc injector. So pretty big stagger between the primaries and secondaries, but I don't know, we'll see if it works.
We're moving over here to the exhaust that was made by Sam for this project. It's got two mufflers or
Two mufflers. It's
Yeah.
got a MagnaFlow that's stainless packed, and then it's got a Racing Beat pre-silencer as the main muffler.
And it's still gonna be loud as...
It's a lot less loud than you'd think, but it is still rotary loud. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, previously in the previous iteration
yeah,
of this
when
car,
it was naturally aspirated, you couldn't even be in like 40, 50 feet of it without going literally fucking deaf. It was
you
the
actually
worst.
wore earplugs driving it.
Earplugs and over-ear protection in order to drive it. It was the worst.
So the double muffler is gonna be a remedy to that.
Yeah, this should get it nice and quiet comparatively.
I completely forgot about the death cart.
Oh yeah,
The death cart. Okay, so all these projects we're giving you an update on because at the end of the month we're gonna buy a complete weld together tube chassis for the Beetle that we've had sitting outside all this time. It's a chromoly 300-pound chassis that we can kind of put whatever panels that we want from this on it. We don't think that's gonna be very many. We wanna keep it as light as possible. The overall weight that we're shooting for, complete with drivetrain, seats, everything like that,
We want to keep this car under 1,200 pounds and over 400 horsepower. To do that, we're going to use a mid-engine VR6 turbo.
As bad of a decision as that possibly could be, we have the engine, so
Basically, we're
don't
just,
try to convince us otherwise. It's what we fucking have.
Basically, we're just going to space the head out to lower the compression, run tons of boost through it, keep the car under 1,200 pounds, and yeah, so we're going to order the chassis for that. And the thing with that is that takes about 2 months.
Yeah, when I ordered stuff from the company that we're getting the chassis from, it took about a week and a half, but that was just for a roll bar. They say it's a 4 to 6 week lead time.
So we want to finish pretty much this, and the Datsun within that time.
We want to have pretty much all of our resources and floor space and collective wallets and minds available for this build, because I don't know. I just feel like to do something, we want to have a project that's one of the craziest things that we've done, and hopefully you guys seen for 2019. So we're gonna bite the bullet, order the chassis, and that'll give us a timeline to get this stuff done, and that'll give us and you something to look forward to this spring and this summer. So.
And when the cars are running, we'll have more than just build videos for you guys.
That's
too.
true. But right now, car's stuck on the lift, and we're kind of in like a screwed position. But progress is still being made. And we'll have like an aggressive timeline because we're about to spend a bunch of money on a Volkswagen Beetle chromoly tube chassis that we're gonna strap a VR6 in a single mount seat, center mount seat. Yeah, we'll go over more details.
More shit's gonna happen as we start developing our lunacy on it.
So stay tuned for that. We're just gonna roll an outro now. I feel like this video is gonna be pretty long because we have a lot of things to talk about, but I'm most excited for this.
Oh, me too.
So that's that. We, the whole Death Beetle thing, very excited about that. I think we've called it the Turtle in the past. The goal is, so we've kind of talked about it off camera a little bit more, and if we can keep it under 1,200 pounds, that makes it around 500 kilograms. If you guys are familiar with the Koenigsegg 1.1, we'd only have to make 500 horsepower to beat that shit. So we might try to do that. We want to maintain a power to weight ratio of 1 horsepower to 1 kilogram. So the thing should be extra death carty.
Yeah, this whole death cart's probably one of the craziest things that we've ever attempted. So we're gonna come at you guys pretty soon with like a full build plan, but you guys get the gist of it. Let's do some dumb shit with the Beetle.
Yeah, and as the parts are gonna start coming in for that in 4 to 6 weeks, we got to get our asses in gear, get all this other stuff done. So, got a lot to do. We have a lot of stuff to film. Our lift's broken right now, but hopefully it'll be working again tomorrow. That's pretty much all we have to say. Again, the actual build breakdown for the Death Cart will come at a later date. Right now, Devin's gonna pick a winner for this video's giveaway. If you guys aren't familiar, we give away products from boostedshades.com every single video. Boosted Shades right now is responsible for a lot of what we do here, so if you like what we do here, that's the best way to support us.
All right, this video's winner is Nino Brown.
All right, Nino, hit us up at Teamboosted at boostedshades.com or through any of our social media pages. We'll get back to you and ship you something. If you guys want to win, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, and leave a comment. A comment could be anything. Sometimes we ask you guys stuff at the end of the videos to make the comment flow a little bit better. This video's question, there's obviously a few other cart builds on YouTube. We just want to know which one's your favorite and which one of like what part of like the elements in those cars do you think we should incorporate into our Death Cart. We definitely want ours to be different. We're doing a Beetle. I don't think that many people have done a Beetle before. But what's your favorite Death Cart on YouTube, or track cart thing? There's like Shark Cart. There's the B is for build to the Corvette. There's things like that, so let us know. And is Leroy kind of a cart? I think Leroy's a cart, right? He
kind of
counts as a cart. Anyways, leave that in the comment section. You're eligible to win stuff, and that's gonna do it for this one.
Yeah, as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.